Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th Canto, Chapter 20, The Dynasty of Puru, Text 15. Have we read 14? All right, but we'll chant 15, is that it? We chant 14. Chant 14, okay. Ashyatam Hyaravindaksha Griyatam Arhanam Chana Bhujatam Santi Nivara Ushyatam Yadi Rochyate Ashyatam Hyaravindaksha Griyatam Arhanam Chana Bhujatam Santi Nivara Ushyatam Yadi Rochyate Ashyatam Hyaravindaksha Griyatam Arhanam Chana Bhujatam Santi Nivara Ushyatam Yadi Rochyate Vaishnavis. Ashyatam, please come sit here. He, indeed, Aravinda Aksha, O great hero, with eyes like the petals of a lotus. Griyatam, please accept. Arhanam, humble reception. Cha, and na, our. Bhujyatam, please eat. Santi, what there is in stock. Nivara, Nivara rice. Ushyatam, stay here. Yadi, if. Rochyate, you so desire. Translation. O king with eyes like the petals of a lotus, kindly come sit down and accept whatever reception we can offer. We have a supply of Nevada rice that you may kindly take. And if you so desire, stay here without hesitation. Text 15. King Dushmanta replied, O Shakuntala, with beautiful eyebrows, you have taken your birth in the family of the great saint Vishvamitra, and your reception is quite worthy of your family. Aside from this, the daughters of a king generally select their own husbands. Purport. In her reception of Maharaja Dushmanta, Shakuntala clearly said, Your Majesty may stay here, and you may accept whatever reception I can offer. Thus she indicated that she wanted Maharaja Dushmanta as her husband. As far as Maharaja Dushmanta was concerned, he desired Shakuntala as his wife from the very beginning, as soon as I saw her. So the agreement to unite as husband and wife was natural. To induce Shakuntala to accept the marriage, Maharaj Dushmanta reminded her that as a daughter of a king, she could select her husband in an open assembly. In the history of Aryan civilization, there have been many instances in which famous princesses have selected their husbands in open competitions. For example, it was in such a competition that Sita Devi accepted Lord Ramachandra as her husband, and that Draupadi accepted Arjuna. And there are many other instances. So marriage by agreement or by selecting one's own husband in an open competition is allowed. There are 8 kinds of marriage, of which marriage by agreement is called Gandharva marriage. Generally, the parents select the husband or wife for their daughter or son, but Gandharva marriage takes place by personal selection. Still, although marriage by personal selection or by agreement took place in the past, we find no such thing as divorce by disagreement. Of course, divorce by disagreement took place among low-class men, but marriage by agreement was found even in the very highest classes, especially in the royal Kshatriya families. Maharaja Dushmanta's acceptance of Shakuntala as his wife was sanctioned by Vedic culture. How the marriage took place is described in the next verse. Om Agana Chimidandasya Gananshana Shalakaya Chakshun Militang Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is real human life. In Vedic culture, everything is orderly, everything is tidy, everything is done according to precise protocols and precepts. This is totally unlike life today, in which each person thinks he or she is an autonomous unit, and that it's up to you to create and define your own identity, your own lifestyle, your own choices. This is proving to be so psychologically devastating. That's the story of Western society. It has promoted extreme individualism. Just do your own thing, whatever it is. And you have to carry such a burden of validating yourself, forgiving yourself. People are crumpling to the ground. They're being crushed by such a burden. They can't do it. They're too tiny. They're not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only Krishna is self-defining. Only Krishna is self-validating. So why is it that we consider such a regulated civilization to be barbaric? In a real human civilization, as we've been discussing, there are 4 aspects which are not Krishna conscious, but will pave the way for someone to become Krishna conscious gradually. Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. So Dharma, first of all, following religious rituals, whatever they may be. Just like in Vrindavan, Nanda Maharaj is saying, we worship Indra because our prosperity depends on the rain, and the rains come from Indra. He explained that to Krishna. Of course, Krishna wanted to humiliate Indra. That was one of his 3 goals. The goal number 1 was to humiliate Indra. Goal number 2 was to inaugurate Govardhan Puja. And goal number 3 was to give the residents of Vrindavan a chance to stare at him 24/7 as he held up Govardhan Hill. So in a traditional material society, first there is Dharma. Religion performed for what purpose? Artha, economic prosperity. And then when there's economic prosperity from the Dharma, there can be Kama, regulated sense gratification. And then what comes next? According to the Vedic system, after you are regulated Kama or sense gratification, you reach the same conclusion that Yayati reached after taking the youth of his sons. I've been gratifying my senses for thousands of years and I'm still not satisfied. How is it that by putting ghee on the fire diminishes? No, with every drop of ghee, the fire gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I've experienced this. So then Yayati, as you heard a few weeks ago, turns to liberation. Get me out of the material world. Not necessarily Krishna bhakti does moksha mean. Generally it means just you want to merge into Brahman. You want out of material existence. But Lord Chaitanya has come to give us category number 5. Prema Pumarto Mahan, love of Krishna, is in the 5th category, beyond Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Engagement in Krishna service is beyond the 4 ingredients of a successful material civilization. So as we become more and more advanced in bhakti, we become accustomed to regulation, to prescription, to things being already defined. What does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? Yashastra vidim utsrija bhartate kama karta nasa siddham avapnoti nasukam na paramgati. If you throw away the regulations of the Shastra, and why do you do it? Kama karta, out of lust. I want my desires, ignorant as they are, to reign supreme. Then you don't get happiness. What to speak of, you don't get the supreme destination. But generally, people want to be happy. The happiness epidemic reigns supreme, but why aren't people happy? Why are they so unhappy? It seems like just act according to your desires. Get all that you can, and you'll be happy. Get money. Get sense gratification. Get investment properties. That's all you need. So even in this material quest, people have forgotten the material ingredients of a real human society. Dharma, Artha, Kama, and then you want moksha. Now, what is it? First, Artha. And then maybe Dharma. First, get the money. Even some families are saying, marry the money, love comes later. Anyone here like that? First is Artha. Then talk about maybe dharma. But generally it's artha, straight to what? Kama. And that's it. That's supposed to be human civilization? Artha, straight to kama? No question of dharma. That's old-fashioned. And moksha, freedom from material existence, who wants to think about that? I was at a program in Sydney Sunday, and one lady from Delhi who had grown up in Australia, not grown up, but been here long enough to learn the ropes, said, what do I need bhakti for? I'm happy right now at this moment. I kept asking her, well, how long does that moment last of your so-called happiness? It doesn't matter. Right now at this moment, I'm happy. That's all. That's all that's needed. From the Vedic point of view, this is a tragedy. Why are we so addicted to such low-grade happiness that we don't care that it comes and goes? As long as I get a glimpse of it, I'll work like a dog just to get a glimpse of material happiness. So in Vedic culture, everything is defined, prescribed, regulated. Some people consider that to be slavery. There should be so much choice. Do your own thing. Just like I've explained so many times, when people in non-traditional cultures hear about the Vedic tradition of, it's not simply Vedic, but it exists in other ancient cultures, people marry based on the selection of the parents. Now that, in the Western world, is considered what? Barbaric. Who could choose their partner just because their parents have picked out someone? You have to try many potential partners. Try them out. Shop around. That was the expression when I was young. Shop around. Don't settle for the first one you meet. Try this one. Try that one. Trial and error. Then you'll be happy. No, in that process you become devastated. So this verse is describing King Dushmanta. You may wonder, what's the point of this chapter, the dynasty of Puru? You're handed descriptions of personalities far beyond the capacity of contemporary human beings. And even they have their flaws, they have their problems, but they're still far more, they're exalted compared to human beings today. And also in this dynasty of Puru, as Shukadeva Goswami will explain, Parikshit Maharaj has appeared. Therefore, another name for Parikshit Maharaj is Bharata. He's appearing in the dynasty of Bharata. So in this way, we learn that human beings today are so puny. So just listen to the eloquent way that Dushmanta and Shakuntala meet. Oh, beautiful lotus-eyed woman, who are you? Whose daughter are you? What purpose do you have in this solitary forest? Why are you staying here? So yes, he's feeling material desires, but he's executing those desires in a responsible way. He's a Kshatriya, so it's his duty to give protection and shelter. So he's come upon this beautiful woman in the forest. So he continues, "O most beautiful one, it appears to my mind that you must be the daughter of a Kshatriya. Because I belong to the Puru dynasty, my mind never endeavors to enjoy anything irreligiously." So in this way, he's indirectly expressing his desire to marry her. She's the daughter of Vishvamrita Muni, who is a Kshatriya But Kshatriya by birth, but by activity and quality, he's a Brahmana. So Dushmanta is saying, everything looks auspicious for our union. So he asked her, who are you? And she identifies herself. I am the daughter of Vishvamrita. My mother Menaka left me in the forest, O hero. The most powerful saint, Kanva Muni, knows all about this. Now let me know. How may I serve you? Everything has class. You see, everything has elegance. Do they talk like this on Sadadia.com? Anyone know? So she continues. O king with eyes like the petals of a lotus, kindly come sit down and accept whatever reception we can offer. We have a supply of Nevada rice that you may kindly take. And if you so desire, stay here without hesitation. That means I'm agreeing to your proposal. So now King Dushmanta replies, O Shakuntala with beautiful eyebrows. Sublu with beautiful eyebrows. Married men, you can remember that. You can compliment your wife. Oh, Sublu. Of course, these days you have to spend money to have your eyebrows done up, yes? So, O Shakuntala with beautiful eyebrows, you have taken your birth in the family of the great saint Vishvamrita, and your reception is quite worthy of your family. Aside from this, the daughters of a king generally select their own husbands. In other words, you are free to accept me. So in the purport, Prabhupada explains that there are 8 kinds of marriage, of which marriage by agreement is called Gandharva marriage. How many of you were married through Gandharva marriage? Raise your hands. Oh, everyone was arranged, huh? Gandharva marriage. It's possible. But then there is the Rakshasa marriage by kidnapping. Any ladies here kidnapped? Marriage by kidnapping? Just think of Krishna and Rukmini. She was meant by arrangement to marry who? Yes. Everyone in the whole city of Kundina knew that she was meant for Krishna. Even her father knew that. But out of affection for his eldest son, Rukmi, his father agreed, okay, let Rukmi arrange the marriage. So this is very proper. This is very Vedic. And Shishupal, he was actually a very qualified prince from a very materially qualified family line. There was only one problem with Shishupal and his family. What was that? They hated Krishna. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, Duryodhana was actually very materially qualified to give protection to the people. But there was only one problem with Duryodhana and his cronies. They were anti-Krishna. So Krishna wanted them out, and Krishna wanted his people in. So in that way, Krishna makes politics. He's entitled to make politics. So the wedding of Rukmini and Shishupal by arrangement. Remember, one of the 8 types of marriage is by arrangement. Was due to happen any moment. And then she writes the famous letter to Krishna. She tells him, You may think I'm shameless appealing to you so directly, but who can resist you? What woman can resist you? I'm not shameless. I'm not uncultured. Where is the woman? Where's the woman who can resist attraction to you? She appealed to him. Don't let the jackal take what is meant for the lion. Don't let that jackal Shishupal. Anyone seen any jackals before? Yes. And they make that sound, which is so unattractive, can keep you up at night. It's known as a low-class animal, whereas the lion is known to be very majestic and powerful and noble. So Rukmini says that to Krishna in her message. Don't let what is meant for the lion go to the jackal. Indirectly, she's insulting Shishupal. And she explains that if I have to do austerities, severe austerities for countless lifetimes in order to get you, I'll still do that. Has anyone said that to their potential marriage partner? Sri Yashoda, you said that? If I have to do severe austerities and penances for hundreds of births, I'll do that to attain you. This is why we say there's no real love in the material world. There's slight reflections, slight facsimiles of real love. So, you know what happened. She did advanced strategic thinking because she's the daughter of a Kshatriya. She said, Krishna, you may hesitate in kidnapping me. She's inviting Krishna to kidnap her. This is one of the 8 types of marriage, Rakshasa marriage. It's legal for Kshatriyas to carry on in that way, in case any of you ladies want to be kidnapped. Make sure it's a real Kshatriya. A real Kshatriya has to be ready to lay down his life in battle at any moment. Any men like that? A real Kshatriya cannot refuse a challenge. They have to be ready to die in a battle at the drop of a hat. So, therefore, no kidnapping here. So she wrote Krishna. She had figured out in advance, Krishna may hesitate to kidnap me because if there's a battle scene in the palace, because Kshatriyas are not going to just stand there and watch Krishna take her away, there could be a battle in the palace and there'll be many deaths, even deaths among women, because there'll be women in the palace. So she gave Krishna a plan. It's my family tradition to worship Durga. So on my way to or from the Durga temple, seeing the deity of the goddess Durga, that's the perfect time. Now you may say, Durga Puja, Rukmini's doing it. It's all right for me to do it. It's all right for my family tradition to be that. Rukmini was worshiping Durga to get Krishna, just like the gopis in Vrindavan worship Katyayani to get Krishna. So you want to worship Durga, go ahead, but the only purpose can be, help me get Krishna, help me have Krishna's service. So it's a little hard to understand, but generally the Kshatriyas of that time, Prabhupada explains, were all Vaishnavas mostly, but they would worship Durga for material prosperity, even though they knew Durga is not the supreme, but they felt maybe she can help out a bit, you know. It's not pure bhakti. So she instructed Krishna, on my way out of the Durga temple, that's the perfect time. There'll be minimal bloodshed. No innocent women and children will be caught up in the battle. Because if you do it in the palace, that's what's going to happen. Innocent persons could be injured or killed. So, of course, she didn't know for sure that Krishna would turn up. She was in anxiety about that. And then she sees the Brahmana messenger that she had sent to Krishna. He returned. And she knew, okay, it's going to happen. She had no doubts that Krishna would be successful. Therefore, she addresses Krishna as Ajita, unconquerable. She knew, he's here, he's going to capture me, there'll be no problem. Now, Krishna, being invincible, he had left Dwarka alone with one Brahmana to tend to Rukmini. So Balaram was very concerned about this. Wait a minute. There could be a huge battle, and Krishna's gone to Kundina with just a Brahmana? What can a Brahmana do in a battle? So Balaram got a huge army, and he went. So the stage was set for a marriage that was going to be a battle. This is Rakshasa marriage, kidnapping. The word was out amongst Shishupal's mates. He had so many warriors there, so many princes coming to see the wedding. But actually, each of those warriors, the so-called friends of Shishupal, were thinking, maybe at the last moment, Rukmini will choose me. Because that's the Kshatriya, Ishwar Bhav. They're full of themselves, as we would say in Australia. Quite full of themselves. I'm so attractive, even though she's marrying Shishupal on this day, surely she'll look at me and then change her mind. So the word was out, though, that Krishna could be coming. Somehow or other, the town talk was that Rukmini had sent a messenger to Krishna, a Brahmana. So there was some buzz. So Shishupal and his mates were all ready for a battle. So the wedding has started. Rukmini has made her procession, surrounded by her girlfriends, to the temple of Durga. And she's praying before Durga, please give me Krishna. Please let Krishna be my husband. And then she leaves the temple. And again, she's surrounded by girlfriends. Ladies always like to be surrounded by girlfriends. So she had her entourage. But where is Krishna? She can't just search the crowd. That's considered low class. What she does, the acharyas explain, is something very subtle. She has a little bit of her hair covering her left eye. So she looks for Krishna while therefore everyone can think that she's just uncovering the hair from her eye. But actually, where is he? Remember that technique. And then she sees him. But meanwhile, what's happened? All the mighty Kshatriyas on their elephants and horses waiting for her to emerge from the Durga temple, and they saw her beauty. And her beauty was so inconceivable that these mighty warriors fell off their horses, overpowered by desire. Have you ever seen such beauty that you would fall out of your car onto the ground? That's Rukmini. They were overwhelmed with kama. Oh, she is meant for me. Oh, look my way. Look at me. Marry me. But they had fell on the ground practically unconscious. At that moment, Krishna emerges and takes Rukmini and puts her on his chariot. And then what? A quick getaway? No. Why should Krishna rush away? He's not afraid. He's Ajita. He slowly drives his chariot. These days we call that in your face. Right, I'm slowly driving away. What are you going to do about it? And the Kshatriya princes are trying to get up off the ground. They're almost unconscious from lust. That's how beautiful Rukmini is. They're trying to get off the ground. They're trying to rally themselves. Jarasandha was there, who had been defeated by Krishna so many times. He cried out, "What is this? What is this?" Repeat. How can the jackal take what is meant for the lion? This metaphor is used quite a few times by both sides, calling each other the jackal. So Krishna slowly drives his chariot away with Rukmini on it. And finally, the princes pull themselves up off the ground and be prepared to mount a mighty attack. And the forces of the Yadu dynasty are there also. So Jarasandha, Shishupal, and all their warriors start attacking the Yadu dynasty, showering the Yadu dynasty with arrows like heavy rains pour upon the side of a mountain. And what does Rukmini do? She knows how to be very romantic. In the midst of this fierce battle, she looks at Krishna with the expression, "You're doing all this for me." Krishna knows how to make romance in the supreme way. So this is Rakshasa marriage, one of the 8 types. But what we're reading about here is marriage by agreement. I make this test all over the world. Sometimes I ask Grihastha couples who married by agreement, who made the first overture? Who initiated the whole process? And in every case, the man thinks it was him. In every case. Well, I saw that she was very Vedic. I saw that she was very spiritual and looked good too, and I kind of made some indication. Just like King Dushmanta made his indication. "Oh, beautiful lotus-eyed woman, who are you? Whose daughter are you? What purpose do you have in this solitary forest? Why are you staying here?" In other words, you need me. So I've found throughout the world of bhakti that the man always thinks it's him who initiated the whole process. And then I talked to both of them together, the man and wife together, and I asked the lady, "I don't believe it was him. I think it was you." And first, second, third time, the lady always, no. I was just minding my own business, and he started looking at me. Upon further questioning, and because the man is convinced that he was the initiator, he was the inaugurator, I tell him, "I don't believe this. Let's question further." And the lady denies it. No, I was not interested in marriage at all. But finally, he convinced me, and I agreed. So I keep inquiring. And then it happened to me just in Canberra last weekend, the weekend before, in Canberra. The lady denied it for a half hour. This is while I'm taking lunch prasad. She denies it, and then suddenly she throws her cards down on the table, so to speak. "All right, it was all me, and it was about time he made a proposal." I said, "How long were you strategizing?" She said, 3 years. The man, her husband, was like, totally astonished. Like, he thought he was the wolf. I've seen this all over the world. So marriage by arrangement is legitimate when done, of course, with the parents' consent. And then we've heard about Rakshasa marriage, marriage by kidnapping. But in this case, it's a Gandharva marriage, marriage by agreement. one point made in this chapter full of intricacies from Brihaspati, intricacies from Bharata. Life in the heavenly realm is not always so blissful. It's the material world. So Dushmanta had a son, Bharata, and Bharata had 3 daughters, no, 3 children, who his wives killed their children. Why? Because the children didn't look like the father, and the wives were afraid of criticism. They killed the children. So life, even among such exalted beings, is not always perfect. But the point we're meant to take from this chapter is that sometimes in Brahmana families, Kshatriyas are born, and sometimes in Kshatriya families, Brahmanas are born. Srila Prabhupada wants us to make sure, he wants to make sure we understand that point in this chapter. Just like Vishvamrita Muni, he's born in a Kshatriya line, but his activities are like a Brahmana. Similarly, it can be the other way around. Someone born in a Brahmana family, their activities are like a Kshatriya. So this is why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, Guna karma vibhagasha, by your quality and activities, that's how you're typified, classified, not simply by birth. Birth is a consideration, but it's not the ultimate consideration. So Srila Prabhupada wants that this chapter is a reference point for that proper understanding of Brahmana or Kshatriya by quality and activity. So we learn so much about how a real human society functions. You may wonder, what has all this got to do with today, and here and now in our contemporary times? Unless we hear about the real standard, we'll think that the way things are today, that's just the way things always should be. There's nothing better. But when you hear about something better, then you don't become so attached to the way people live today. Unregulated, uncivilized, basically barbaric. When we have our retreats for newcomers from Bharat to Australia, we'll have one at the end of November for students and young professionals. And often they're wondering, what will be my future? Because they have one foot in India and one foot in Australia. They are what I call hybrids. So they're looking at Australia life and thinking, it's so wild, so liberating, so free from restriction. This could be good. And then they look back at India, the traditional life in India. Of course, India is not so traditional these days, but still there's remnants there, right? And so they look back and think, maybe that's primitive. And here we are in Australia, free from all restraint and regulation. Maybe we should get into it. But not as much as the Australians. We won't go that far. But a little bit of unregulation, a little bit of flexibility will do you no harm. So we have to explain to them how Krishna's instructions in Bhagavad Gita are the proper standard of life. Because they're thinking, in India, everyone is concerned. What are the others thinking about me? What's my social prestige? Who's thinking what about me? Who's talking what about me? And in Australia, what? I don't care what anyone's thinking about me. I'm doing my own thing. So the difference is due to the traditions coming from a Vedic civilization. in which regulation, protocols, proper procedure is considered civilized human life. So Prabhupada is educating us in the elements of a real human civilization. So in this way, Srimad Bhagavatam is instructing us on so many levels. And of course, remember, beyond Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha is love of Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just cut right to the chase. He knows, Kali Yuga, there's no Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. There should be, but there isn't. Therefore, just flood the world with love of Krishna by chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right, any questions?
Hare Krishna Maharaji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for a wonderful class. I want to understand three things here, as you have said about...
Start with one.
Start with one, yeah. It's about a devotee, and he want to understand about karma, tolerance, and reaction. We understood the Kshatriya Dharma in your class, but I want someone want to understand about how to get into bhakti. So this is an aspiring devotee who has been with some incidents and came for help to me. They are avoiding a person and ignoring, but still being physically assaulted and verbally abused in the temple for multiple times from past 6 months. Should one take this as karma and continue to tolerate it?
If there's some problem like that within the temple facility, you should report it to the authorities.
Okay,
finished.
They have reported it to authorities.
Okay, but this is not a proper question for Bhagavatam class. I've already told you what to do. You report it to the authorities, and then you work things out. We have Arjuna Sakha Prabhu here. He's expert manager. You talk to him.
Yep.
Finished. Thank you. Any questions about Bhagavatam?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the nice class. Maharaj, you mentioned how the material happiness, it lasts for a bit, and you gave the example of the lady in Sydney. So I would like to ask for the spiritual happiness that we get while doing services in the temple here in the material world. Will we experience the same happiness in the spiritual world when we directly serve Lord Krishna, or would that be different?
If you read Bhagavad Gita properly, you'll get the same benefit by your reading as if Krishna is personally present before your eyes. Think about that. I've heard that you value coming to Bhagavatam class so much that you arrange your whole lifestyle, your studies, just so you can come to Bhagavatam class every morning. Continue like that and you'll see Krishna.
Okay.
Anything else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the nice class.
Thank you for coming, Ramai.
I was wondering, when Krishna killed the Keshi demon, how did Narada Muni know like the great deeds he would do in the future?
How did Arjuna?
Narada Muni.
Narada Muni.
Yeah.
Because Narada Muni is Trikala Gya. That means he sees through all phases of time, past, present, and future.
Okay. Thank you.
Very good question. Thank you for coming to class.
Hare Krishna
Yes.
Maharaj, you mentioned, give the example of the girl in Mataji in Sydney, living in the, like, she's happy in the moment.
She thinks.
Yeah.
But then you have to analyze what's the quality of that momentary happiness. She says, even though it doesn't last, it's okay because I have something for the moment. But okay, for the moment you have it. What's the quality of what you have in the moment? That they don't try to understand. It's mixed with anxiety. It's going to end. Or could I be doing better? Is there something better? It's never pure happiness. Go on.
So I was just just thinking from a spiritual point of view, because the mind, even while practicing devotional life, the mind is very, very like a monkey, just keep running. So while chanting, how can I feel happy in that moment and that moment stays?
You're actually, as a mature devotee, you're not trying to feel happiness by chanting. You're trying to please Krishna by chanting. But in the beginning, yes, I want to feel good. I want to feel bliss, ananda. So you look for that from your chanting. But gradually, as the more you chant Hare Krishna, the more you chant Hare Krishna, the more you start thinking of Krishna's pleasure. How is Krishna relishing my chanting? And then you're becoming a mature devotee. But in the beginning, yes, I want to be free of anxiety, free of stress. I want to be religious. I want investment properties. I want a nice spouse. Let me chant Hare Krishna. It's all right in the beginning. But as you chant Hare Krishna, you start gradually thinking, what about Krishna's pleasure? Because what are you saying when you're chanting? My dear Lord, please engage me in your service. And further down the road, you'll start to realize when you chant, here is Radha, here is Krishna. So all that will open up to you as you progress in attentive, dedicated chanting.
Thank you.
Any questions from this side? Ladies, no questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna. When I'm chanting, I'm thinking, I'm not fully connecting. Like so many things come through the mind, like Prabhu was saying. So I'm not connecting the name with the person Krishna. So would it be advisable to think about, can we think about Krishna's pastimes and we can have more emotions and connect the name to the...
Krishna is present as his name, just here. You don't have to imagine anything, just here. Chanting is a vibrating and hearing process. That's what we're aiming for. It may seem difficult in the beginning, but if you stick to it, gradually it becomes more and more possible. Your whole life is meant to be a career of chanting Hare Krishna. Just here. You don't have to bring anything else to the process. Imagining this, imagining that. Thinking this. Even you don't have to think about Krishna's pastimes. Because Krishna is there as his name. This is what we want to realize. If you put something in your mind in front or in place of what Krishna is trying to give you as his name, you don't get the best. In other words, the more you understand that Krishna is the same as his name and act on that, the more result you'll get. Okay? And it's very wonderful to be concerned about chanting Hare Krishna. If you didn't care, you wouldn't be concerned. So Krishna's in your heart. He knows. Bhakti Lata Devi is thinking about how to chant attentively. Krishna notices that. So spend your whole life pursuing Namaras for Krishna's pleasure. Yes.
Maharaj, you mentioned about the sophistication in the traditional culture as it's mentioned in this chapter. So for many of us, we don't really have that sophistication in our dealings with the devotees in devotional service. So is that something that we separately educate ourselves, or is it something that's going to come with chanting Hare Krishna?
Everything comes from chanting Hare Krishna with attention. You can also pray to the deities. Sri Sri Radha Vallabha, please teach me the art of associating with devotees. How to treat devotees nicely. How to speak to them nicely. Yes, it's very interesting how Dushmanta and Shakuntala are talking to one another. So such elegance, such class. To associate with devotees, as I often explain, requires divine empowerment, because they're all so different. You look around in this room, you're surrounded by persons who generally, according to your karma, you would never associate with. Even they may all be from India, but different parts of India, very important. But here we are together in Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan mission. So there are so many different types of bodies, so many different types of ethnicities, brought together by Lord Chaitanya's movement of pure love. So you pray to the deities, please teach me the art, science, and culture of how to relate to devotees properly. It's the greatest career. Two things, chanting Hare Krishna with attention and associating with devotees, how to do that in a quality way. Both are a lifetime pursuit. You got to start somewhere. Just like you learned how to play a little bit of mridanga, gradually getting better. Similarly, you learn by the mercy of the deities how to inspire other devotees by your association. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful class, Maharaj. Maharaj, I've noticed one thing that when we are in the mode of sattva, like getting up on time, sleeping on time, then the things are more under control. But 2 days of sleeping extra, things just forced like bad again. Like
you need more rest. You're working too hard.
Sometimes, Maharaj.
Well, you have to take care of your health. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, you can't be a yogi if you eat too much or eat too little, sleep too much or sleep too little. So you try to hit the mark on target. Hit it on target. Just the amount you need. Maybe you're a hardworking young man, I don't know. No?
Not much. No, not really.
So then you know that you could, instead of sleeping late, you could get up and chant Hare Krishna. Why don't you do that?
So she just sticks to it, right? Like rather.
Huh?
So like the question was, Maharaj, like Prabhupada says that we are supposed to even get out of sattva to like. So,
First start with sattva, please.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
All right. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.